make the ANC respected in the public, that will make the ANC regain the confidence of our people. Not regain it because we are sweet-talking them, but regain it because that which we have promised and undertaken to deliver to our people will deliver. That we will, like Maslow hierarchy of needs, when the base needs have been satisfied, we need to know that we must develop ourselves as leadership to meet the higher needs of our people. RDP houses are no longer enough. We need more. We need an ANC branch that will educate our people that employment, when our struggle for freedom was saying we are not fighting to create job seekers. We are fighting to create job creators. And not undermine that spaza shop. An ANC that will make sure that in our community there's an awareness that says an undocumented illegal, no matter that 2,000 rent they pay for our garage to use as a spaza shop, is not enough to sacrifice the interest of South Africans. But we will say we will support you as the ANC at a branch level. Will facilitate that you have access to funding for your businesses. Not because of corruption, but because we know how to access those and will help you to follow the right path. When an ANC branch and an ANC office becomes a center of service delivery and community assistance. That's what you are tasked with. We have undertaken that as you finalize the program of action, we'll be there and we'll work with you to implement the program of action. Because the ANC nationally is only greater when the ANC in Johannesburg is greater. You are the leadership you have been waiting for, and get on with the task of leading a united ANC. You are not clapping. We need a united ANC in Greater Johannesburg. We need an ANC that is focused at the task at hand of renewing and rebuilding the confidence of society, not an ANC that is obsessed with tearing each other apart. We need an ANC that unites behind itself and unites behind its elected leadership. Because it's only when we are one ANC, focus on one vision of the ANC, one program of the ANC, that the ANC will deliver. ANC lives, ANC leads. Amandla.
Unity makabane iklesha. Unity, unity, unity makabane. Pagama, Pagama ANC iklesha. Pagama, Pagama. Pagama ANC iklesha. Amandla. Amandla. Comrades, let me acknowledge the first DSG of the ANC, Comrade Nomvula Mokwanyane, Mama Action. Thank you, Mama. Yeah, no saying reporter directly, comrades. Umphathu khona. Let me call upon the regional secretary. But before I call the RS to come and do the conference declaration, Comrade Kumbuzo, I just want to appreciate your words. You know, for a very long time, there's always been a disjuncture between the ANC in government and the ANC as an organization. Over time, we have failed to link the two structures. What we do in government hardly ever aligns with what we resolve on as an organization. And this is the time where we really need to start reflecting. Because We may blame ward councillors sometimes and say ward councillors are not servicing our people. But do ward councillors have the necessary resources and the necessary access for them to be able to resolve the challenges of society? These are some of the things that we really need to start reflecting on as the ANC. And we need to delve deeper, comrades, and start discussing some of the resolutions that we have taken over time. And one of the problematic resolutions that we have always taken over time is the notion that there must always be a separation between the state and the party. When the party is the one that contests elections so that they can run the state. So at what point do we make sure that all of these issues align, comrades? And these are the things that we need to, over time and time again, come back as an organization and truly reflect. And even reflect, Comrade DSG, on the linkage between national government, provincial government, and local government. Because most of the time, some of the challenges that we have is that we are unable at local government level, Comrade Chair, to be able to call on national to come and resolve some of the issues that we have. We have a serious water challenge in Johannesburg, and we really need to resolve it. But national, we really need you guys to come and assist us leadership, because we are not going to be able to resolve the challenges of society whilst we are still fractured ourselves in aligning our resolutions and our implementation as an organization and as government. With that being said, comrades, thank you very much, Comrade Kumbuzo. Let me call on the Regional Secretary, Comrade Sasabona Manganye, to come and give us the conference declaration of the 16th Regional Conference of Johannesburg. Sipethu nobalo ne contenti. Sipethu nobala. Sipethu nobalo ne contenti. Sipethu nobala. Sipethu nobalo ne contenti. Sipethu nobala. Sipethu nobalo ne contenti. Sipethu nobalo ne contenti. Sipethu nobala. Sipethu nobalo ne contenti. Sipethu nobala. Sipethu nobalo ne contenti.
Amandla awethu matla kyarona matimba yaina manda ashu viva the ANC, viva. Long live the African National Congress, long live. Thanks very much, Deputy Regional Secretary. Let me firstly acknowledge the Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Nomvula Mukonyani, and also the convener of our NEC deployees, Comrade Kumbuzo, and also all NEC deployees who joined the 16th Regional Conference. Let me also acknowledge members of the provincial tax team, as led by the convener of the deployees, of the PTT deployees in Johannesburg, Comrade Oscar Matafa. Let me also acknowledge the Alliance partners that are here, the South African Communist Party, COSATU, and SANCO. Let me acknowledge also the leagues of the ANC, the Youth League, and the Veterans League. Of course, also acknowledging the MK Liberation War Veterans, SASCO and COSAS. Most importantly, acknowledging the delegates to the 16th Regional Conference of the African National Congress. Of course, not forgetting to acknowledge the office bearers of the ANC in Joburg, as led by the first female regional chairperson, Comrade Loyiso Masuku. We are happy to be led by a female regional chairperson whom we have served very well together in the Secretariat over the last term of office. And what I appreciate, Comrade Kumbuzo, about this regional chairperson is the fact that she's a ground person. You will always find her where the people are. So the ANC is in safe hands. My role here is to take you through the declaration of the conference, and I'm not going to waste time. We, the delegates of the African National Congress in the Greater Johannesburg region, joined by our alliance partners, the leagues, and also the MDM structures, gathered at the 16th Regional Conference, united in our commitment to renew, rebuild, and reposition the movement as a trusted leader of society. The 16th Regional Conference convened under this theme, the year of renewal, to make the ANC a more effective instrument of the people to achieve the vision of the Freedom Charter, guided by the historical mission of the ANC, inspired by the Freedom Charter, to critically assess the progress our movement has made towards the achievements of the revolutionary objectives set out in the Freedom Charter. The 16th Regional Conference is taking place after our country, South Africa, hosted an extremely successful G20 summit under the theme Solidarity, Equality, and Sustainability. We can be very proud at the ANC Johannesburg that our city was chosen as the host and delivered a world-class event under our leadership and the leadership of President Ramaphosa and Premier Panyaza Lesufi and Executive Mayor Dada Murero. We reaffirm the ANC as the strategic center of power in Johannesburg and commit to organizational renewal, rebuilding rooted in discipline, unity, ethical leadership, and community activism. We condemn all forms of factionalism, gatekeeping, corruption, and ill discipline. We commit to building vibrant, active branches that serve communities, not individuals. We resolve to strengthen ANC capacity to win back City of Johannesburg through a credible, community-based, service delivery-driven campaign. We will champion clean governance, financial stability, effective oversight, and an end to maladministration. We affirm our commitment to a functional coalition framework that prioritizes the people over narrow political interests. We resolve to lead efforts to stabilize and modernize the city's aging infrastructure, electricity, water, roads, broadband, and waste management. We call for urgent action to reduce service outages, sewer spillages, water losses, and the collapse of community facilities. We demand equitable development across all regions, particularly historically marginalized townships, hostels, informal settlements, and inner city communities. We commit to advancing a local economic development agenda that expands opportunities for youth, women, and township entrepreneurs. We support industrialization, green energy initiatives, urban agriculture, creative industries, and support for small businesses through procurement reform. We call for a stronger city-led strategy to combat unemployment, poverty, and inequality. Comrades, can we have one comrade to fix the chaos outside? Okay, as I continue, in terms of safety, social cohesion, and community well-being, we declare crime, lawlessness, and substance abuse as major threats to community stability and economic recovery. We resolve to strengthen community policing forums, metro police capacity, and integrated crime prevention programs. We call for enhanced social support for vulnerable groups such as children, persons with disability, the elderly, and the homeless. We reaffirm that the ANC Youth League, the Women's League, Veterans League, and the MK Liberation War Veterans are integral components of the revolutionary movement. We commit to their full organizational revival and participation in governance and community activism. We resolve to strengthen leadership development, political education, and economic opportunities for these structures. We recommit to the strategic alliance with the South African Communist Party, COSATU, and SANCO. We will work to rebuild alliance cohesion at what zone and regional levels through joint community programs. We reaffirm that an active united alliance is essential to defend the working class and advance transformation. The conference believes that the outcomes of the 2024 national and provincial elections must be viewed as a sobering moment for all members of the broader mass democratic movement. While we manage to retain the position of the leading party, our declining national electoral fortunes must be treated with the essential seriousness they deserve. Therefore, we must build permanent professional election capacity with immediate effect across the organizational structures, across all the organizational structures, from the region to the zones, and down to the humblest branch. We must professionalize our machinery, ensure that elections work is not a seasonal activity but a continuous program of engagement with our communities. The conference commits to a disciplined, united, and community-based campaign that reaches every household in Johannesburg. We shall deploy leadership and volunteers across all wards to continue to listen, engage, and mobilize residents. It is through accelerated service delivery which will enable us to win the lost ground in inspiring the residents of Johannesburg to go out in numbers to vote for the African National Congress. The 16th Regional Conference reaffirms the 55th National Congress International Relations Resolution, which emphasizes on increasing practical program-based solidarity campaigns with Palestine, Cuba, Western Sahara, and Eswatini. Congress believes campaigns like renaming Santen Drive to Leila Khalid are what is needed to move from theory to practice. The 16th Regional Conference mandates the newly elected REC to implement these resolutions as captured in the base document with urgency, integrity, and accountability. We call for consistent reporting, monitoring and evaluation, open communication with branches, and improved coordination with provincial and national structures. We leave this conference united in purpose, firm in principle, and ready to serve the people of Johannesburg with humility and dedication. In honor of our struggle heroes and in service to future generations, we declare the 16th Regional Conference of the ANC Greater Johannesburg region a turning point towards renewal, unity, organizational strength, and people-centered governance. Amandla! Away to!
Abafana bomkhonto bathila ngase lishonile iyo ngase tambuya babona iyo ngase tambuya babona Amandla Amandla! Amandla! Viva ANC, viva! Comrades, we will now take hands that will adopt the conference declaration. Ma'am Cindy, Comrade Cindy. Can we get a mic this side, comrades? Do we have a roving mic?
Comrade Gama Osindi Wakomesha Makulu from Ward 24, Zone 3. I adopt the declaration. Thank you.
Can we get a seconder? Comrade Lafa.
Thank you very much. My name is Simple Lafa, a proud man to be part of the generation that made history in Johannesburg. I therefore move to second the adoption.
Thank you very much, comrades. We will now declare the conference declaration adopted. We will now move to the moment that we have all been waiting for. But before we go there, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge the provincial task team member of the ANC, Comrade Lebogang Maile. Let me also acknowledge Comrade Nzi Kumalo, also a member of the provincial task team of the ANC. Thank you. I'm told Comrade Vuyo is here. Is he in plenary? No. Oh, yes. Where is he? Oh, Shalipa backseat. No, Comrade Vuyo, you actually acknowledged leadership. Leadership is Phambili, Comrade Vuyo. No, thank you very much, comrades. let us move to the moment that we have been waiting for in Greater Johannesburg region. Comrade Loiso Masuku. Comrades, Amandla. Comrades, we have achieved the mission that we have wanted all these years. But now, comrades, we must sing uniting songs, because she is no longer a woman on top. She is the woman on top. Asikwazi ukufuna into esiphethe, comrades. Sesifumene lento, comrades. Thank you, Comrade Neo. Elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe lokhokho bethu, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe thabo, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe thabo, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe lokhokho bethu, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe lokhokho bethu, sizaba zelilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe thambo, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe thambo, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe lokhokho bethu, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe lokhokho bethu, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe thambo, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe thambo, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe lokhokho bethu, elilizwe labantu abamnyama, elilizwe lokhokho bethu, elilizwe labantu abamnyama. Amandla, awethu, Matla, Aruna, Matimba, Aina, Manda, Ashu, all power to the people. Igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe. Thank you very much, comrades. A very good evening to you. I will start with acknowledging the chairperson of the session, the Deputy Regional Secretary. Thank you very much. My salutations go to the first Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress, Comrade Nomvula Mokonyane. The convener of the ANC deployees to Gauteng, Comrade Khumbudzo Nchaveni. Who led the team for the last 2 days, and we thank you for that, Comrade Khumbudzo, for the sterling work that you have done. Together with the PTT deployees, who are convened by Comrade Oscar Matafa, the regional executive office bearers, which I have the honor to lead, as well as
the delegates of conference who are the most important people for this 16th Regional Conference. To our alliance partners, our dependable allies, SANCO, COSATU, and SACP, to our MK Liberation War veterans, our leagues, the ANC Youth League, the ANC Veterans League, and albeit not having a structure, we must acknowledge the ANC Women's League because there are delegates who are from that structure in the form of their branches. Comrades, esteemed guests, members of the media, I stand before you today with a heart full of humility and a spirit ignited by a profound sense of purpose. The trust you have placed in us as we wrap up this conference to serve this organization in Johannesburg, the economic heartbeat of our nation and continent, is not a privilege we take lightly. It is a mandate for renewal, a call to action, and a sacred covenant between the African National Congress and the people we are tasked to serve in Johannesburg. To serve the ANC in Johannesburg is to stand at the crucible of modern South Africa, tasked with steering a city and a region of profound contrasts, immense potential, and deep historic scars. Leadership here carries a significance that extends far beyond locality. It is an act of navigating complexity, healing divisions, and unlocking the talent energy of our continent's economic heartbeat. This conference sits at a time when the ANC is on a path, unfortunately, of decline from its electoral support and the historic support base. And the convener of deployees alluded to this earlier in her input. For nearly 3 decades, the African National Congress stood as a symbol of liberation, unity, and hope. It commanded a dominant majority, which was a reflection of the trust bestowed upon it by a proud people who had overcome racism, segregation, and oppression to attain freedom. Today, the political landscape is different, comrades. It is no longer defined by a single towering pillar of power, but by a fragile mosaic of coalition governments. The reason for this decline is written in the daily experiences of millions of our people, the scourge of unemployment, economic stagnation, failure of service delivery, where there are water shortages, electricity disruptions, and crumbling infrastructures remain a reality, alongside the corrosive shadow of corruption and internal factionalism. All this has severely damaged our party's image. Its moral authority and its ability to govern effectively has been brought into question. The voter is no longer patient and has become a vocal critic of our track record and ability to resolve basic service delivery challenges. The ballot, which was once an affirmation of the ANC's program, has become a tool of accountability to punish the ANC. The direct consequences of this decline is in the era of local coalition governments that no single party holds a majority. Our program for progressive change and transformation is under threat. What follows from here is policy paralysis as the decision-making process on budgets, housing, formalization of informal settlements, and other critical service delivery areas is protracted for political considerations in order to balance these coalitions. This is a great threat to our democratic gains and the national democratic revolution. And this has dealt the ANC a serious blow where we find ourselves having to defend our democratic gains and the very policies and foundations that have given people dignity through housing, quality education, water, as well as basic services. The ANC therefore stands at crossroads where renewal is not just the election of new leadership, but the renewal to the commitment to better the lives of South Africans and not betray the founding principle of this very ANC that we serve. I'm especially conscious of the significance of this moment, comrades. All the speakers that spoke bring this reality alive. I'm conscious of this moment because as a woman stepping into this role, I stand on the shoulders of giants, the many women who have led, championed, and dedicated their lives to the ANC and the pursuit of the national democratic revolution. To be a woman of firsts is to walk a path where the ground is not yet solid and to step into the space where the air is thin. This mammoth task means you are both the blueprint and the builder. You are the dream and the toiler. My footsteps would not only echo in the corridors of my predecessors, but will also become the sound that future generations of women, activists, will learn to recognize as possibility. Indeed, it is possible. Be that as it may, comrades, being the first is not a crown of solidarity triumph, but a ladder built over many decades from progressive collective conscience and struggles. Comrades, I want to take this moment to remind us of the first Black South African woman graduate and a pioneering political activist. She took a moment to remind us that this struggle is not worth the pursuit if it is not selfless. She said, "This work is not for yourself. Kill that spirit of self and do not live above your people, but live with them." And so today, we achieve not for personal glory, but to pull our communities upwards with us by transforming a singular breakthrough into a collective advance. Johannesburg's very foundation is rooted in the geology of gold and the politics of exploitation. Its spatial landscape echoes the divide between the affluent northern suburbs and the sprawling, underdeserved townships of the south. Johannesburg is a physical testament to the legacy of apartheid. Therefore, leadership in this context is irrevocably tied to spatial and economic justice. We, as the ANC, must be a bridge builder, actively working to dismantle these entrenched patterns of inequality. The political economy of Johannesburg is a tale of two cities. On the one hand, the Johannesburg GBT metro is estimated at over 1.2 trillion, contributing nearly 16% to the national GDP and over 40% to Gauteng's. We host the Johannesburg Stock Exchange with a market capitalization of over 17 trillion. This is a vibrant, globally connected financial hub. Yet this coexists with the reality that our official unemployment rate sits at over 30%, soaring to over 40% for our youth. We are a city that creates immense wealth, yet too many of our nearly 6 million residents are living below the breadline, trapped in a cycle of spatial exclusion inherited from the very same apartheid I spoke about. Johannesburg's health is critical to the well-being of the entire nation. Leadership here involves the delicate balance of fostering a climate conducive to investment and innovation while ensuring that growth benefits the majority. This city is not just a place of commerce, but an ecosystem where economic vitality and social stability are mutually dependent. We must, as the ANC, lead the charge to foster an economy that is both globally competitive and locally inclusive. This means a dedicated focus on supporting our SMMEs, which account for over 50% of employment in the city. In all this, we need to put Johannesburg and its residents first by mandating that a significant portion of the city's 60 billion supply chain is directed to local registered businesses. Concurrently, we need to work with large corporates on a social compact for investment where the success is directly linked to the skills development, infrastructure upgrade, and the rejuvenation of our townships and informal settlements. To achieve this, our public policy must be bold, innovative, as already indicated in our resolutions, and we must be relentlessly focused on delivery. We cannot talk about economic growth without talking about a reliable and affordable system that will also assist in terms of transportation and our own electricity and energy strategies. None of this is possible without a radical overhaul of the municipal and infrastructure, finance. And comrades, while our focus is local, our vision is global. Johannesburg's foreign policy is one of partnership and prosperity to ensure that investment comes so that we can transform and improve the lives of our people and ensure that there is job creation in Johannesburg under the leadership of the ANC. As leaders of the ANC, we need to navigate and manage the complexities of rapid urbanization and multiculturalism. This demands foresight and an inclusive approach that sees diversity as the city's greatest strength. Comrades, this leadership will have to confront the tangible and intangible. While we face a daunting array of day-to-day challenges in our city, and as indicated earlier, that infrastructure decay, there is hope because the city has got an investment plan, and as the ANC, we have a responsibility to ensure, as indicated even in our declarations, that deployees of the African National Congress must be monitored and evaluated. There is no free ticket. You have to serve the people of Johannesburg diligently, with humility, and if you are not prepared to do that, give others an opportunity so that those who are willing to serve, do it, so that the ANC, our intention is to continue to be re-electable so that we can serve the people. The ANC in Johannesburg is significant. It is not like any other because the city itself is a microcosm of the national project. It is arguably the hardest place to govern in South Africa, but also the most consequential. Success here in the city measured is shared prosperity, social cohesion, and functional services, would signal a breakthrough for the entire country. To serve here is to accept the Herculean task of turning the city of gold into this world-class African city, world-governed city that we always speak about. The stakes could not be higher, and the potential reward of getting it right would be even greater for the African National Congress. For us to succeed, we must wholeheartedly and with conviction commit ourselves to the unity of the ANC and our program of renewal. We must commit ourselves to the progressive ideas and policies of the movement and mobilize society behind our program at all levels. This conference must be a turning point, comrades, a point where we abandon individualism in favor of collective leadership and principled action to serve the people of Johannesburg beyond the self. We must actively work to continue to unite our organization against and around the principle and not a personalities and an opportunities organization. We must all make the solemn commitment to work for the people of Johannesburg and the ANC. Umbutho wabantu must return to being the sole and most reliable repository of the needs and aspirations of our people. We must build an ANC that is trustworthy, reliable, and able to serve our people and the residents of Johannesburg. As we conclude this conference, we must reflect on our journey thus far And we must remember comrades who have led and were acknowledged earlier on when we were at plenary, who we have lost, who were indeed executive mayors and led the city of Johannesburg. That would be Comrade Jeff Makubo, Comrade Jolly Dimatongo, and Comrade Timpo Mwerane. Today must be the moment to break that curse and that has hung over our organization in this region. We must utilize this moment to reaffirm that collectivism has triumphed over self-interest. Today must be the commencement of a journey towards selflessness and an unwavering commitment to serving the people of Johannesburg. We must rebuild dignity and respect for our organization. We must champion non-racialism and non-sexism to reclaim the space and affirm the ANC as the true leader of society. Unity must be our common purpose. Unity of the ANC must be sacrosanct and must be our mission across the region. We must unite to conquer, and conquer, we must align and marry unity to discipline. A disciplined force is what we need to achieve total liberation and effective service to our people and the residents of Johannesburg. Comrades, amahlati aphelile. Conferences come and go. The ANC needs all of us united, working together. We must act to serve the people of Johannesburg, and that can only happen if we have an ANC that is united and cohesive. As I conclude, I wish to thank the 15th Regional Conference, which was led by Comrade Dada Murero, and we thank him for his sterling leadership in his tenure. In conclusion, I wish to borrow from Mam Lilian Ngoyi, the first woman who was elected to the ANC National Executive Committee, and an anti-apartheid activist whose spirit speaks to the courage required. She said, "I am a woman of action. I cannot sit down and fold my hands while others are busy making history." To be a woman of firsts is to embody this action, to refuse to wait for permission, to reject the folding of hands. It is to be busy tirelessly in the pursuit of the genuine struggles of our people and the sacred act of making history yourself. I thank you. Mandla! Awethu! Malibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi! Viva ANC, viva! Viva President Cyril Ramaphosa, viva! Viva Chairperson Panyaza Lusufi, viva! Malibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi! Uma ufuni volunteer, kulama kumbi amane, uma
Amandla.
Two.
Thank you very much, Regional Chairperson, Comrade Loiso Masuku. Sounds very nice, eh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Comrades, I just have a few announcements that I want to make. Firstly, we are going to start voting for our additional REC members. We are going to start voting at 7:30. The elections agency is still concluding in terms of preparations. They've requested that we must give them 15 minutes. So within this 15 minutes, comrades, please just take a body stretch and start queuing by where we voted. Let's go zone by zone, comrades, so that it becomes easier for us.
Ayekuphila babantu emzabalazwe ayekuphila babantu emzabalazwe emzabalazwe